What it do, YouTube, man? It is your boy Solid back with another solid reaction. And today we got how Chicago Bulls self-destructed after Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson left. Now, I don't really know the whole story on this, but if it was up to me, I would say it's on your lottery picks. And then when you start making picks, not to win games, but more or less just to keep that same franchise theme, that's when things start. And you lose some good franchise players like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and so forth. It kind of falls apart, and then you can't reach that cap space. So now you got all of these players who played with Michael Jordan, who've played with Scottie Pippen, who become very good players like Steve Kerr, and they want max contracts just like everybody else. So once that is all gone and you lose guys like that, it's hard to come back on top. But we're going to check this video out, man. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and like this video if you guys do enjoy it. Let's go ahead and get into this one.
1998, the Bulls did it again. Michael Jordan's team accomplished something legendary when they won 3 straight championships from 1991 to 1993. Then Jordan retired, unretired, and incredibly led the Bulls to another 3-year streak of glory.
Yeah.
72 wins and a finals victory over the Sonics in 1996, then 2 more rings from back-to-back defeats of the mighty Utah Jazz, punctuated by MJ's iconic series-winning shot. Just like the first three-peat, Jordan had an ideal squad around him.
Yep, he did.
He still had his second superstar, the do-everything, stop-everyone,
Scottie
eternally
Pippen.
underappreciated small forward Scottie Pippen. And he still had Phil Jackson, the coach who became an icon
The most
himself
winning
by
coach in
sneaking
NBA
riddles,
history to me, bro.
orchestrating egos, and administering the triangle offense designed by his mentor and assistant, Tex Winter. But so many of these role players were new for the second go-round. Ron Harper, the perfect, tall defensive point guard to complement Jordan in the triangle. Dennis Rodman, moody, eccentric, and brilliant at protecting the basket, the pest haunting every opposing big man. Tony Kukoc, the former EuroLeague superstar who found new life as a fearsome tertiary gunner on his first NBA team. Luke Longley, the diligent, reliable center from Australia. And Steve Kerr, one of the most automatic shooters ever.
Yep.
And you can thank Jerry Krause for that supporting cast. It took dogged scouting and clever moves by the Chicago GM to reconstruct a three-peat capable supporting cast for Bulls owner Jerry Reinsdorf. But while this Bulls team was a masterpiece, it was volatile beyond belief. And within days of achieving ultimate glory, the Bulls would begin to explode. Like, really a lot.
Yeah.
The Bulls won
collapse. I
championship
like
number
that.
6 on June 14th, 1998. About a week later, the first domino fell. That one was only a matter of time.
Yeah, that
Phil Jackson and Jerry Krause were
done.
not on good terms. They were on the kind of terms where Krause invited every Bulls assistant to his stepdaughter's wedding and invited Iowa State head coach Tim Floyd, but didn't invite Phil. They were on the kind of terms that led to Krause vowing that Phil's 1-year extension with the Bulls in 1997 would be his last season in Chicago, even if they went undefeated. And if you didn't believe rumors of a rift, then you had to believe it when Phil himself did a running diary for ESPN magazine in the middle of the playoffs, no less.
The
and
running
said,
of the Bulls.
for instance, that he didn't buy Krause a Christmas gift because he couldn't bring himself to give his boss something of value. No? Still not doing it for you? How about, quote, "It's not a secret that I will be gone from the Bulls at the end of the playoffs," end quote. You didn't have to read tea leaves when Phil was stuffing them down your throat. Phil Jackson's a different kind of dude. So Phil resigned, and as soon as he made it official, Bulls fans turned back to some things they'd heard from and about Michael Jordan.
He
Jordan
said he
had
done.
told the media he wouldn't play for any coach but Jackson. And MJ had no connection to the Bulls' planned replacement, that notable wedding guest, Tim Floyd. Jordan had told the fans in his own ESPN magazine feature that he didn't want to start a war with Krause, but that the Bulls hadn't shown him loyalty and he thought Phil should be the GM. And this preseason quote from Krause had pissed Jordan off, though Krause insisted for the rest of his life that he was misquoted on that one. Either way, as soon as Phil bailed, everyone readied for the other shoe to drop. But the '98 NBA lockout forced them to wait.
Yep.
And wait, and then boom.
99.
Days before the work stoppage was resolved, Jordan announced his retirement. And with Jordan gone, a whole lot of shoes began
And
to
then
drop.
Pippen got
On
injured.
January 21st, the Bulls ditched Rodman in a flurry of cuts.
Yeah.
He'd been a distraction throughout the championship run and had recently been threatening to retire, which he didn't. The same day, Chicago sent Kerr to the San Antonio Spurs in
See?
a sign-and-trade.
Gone.
Pippen, meanwhile, had been part of trade rumors and trade demands for years. As recently as November of '97, that is between championships 5 and 6, Pippen again told reporters he wanted to be traded and that he wouldn't play for the Bulls again. Obviously, he did keep playing for the Bulls, played hurt even, and got another ring out of it. But the day after Kerr got dealt, now just over a week out from Jordan's retirement, the Bulls finally did the deed, signing and trading
Didn't they
Pippen
send
to the Rockets
him
for
to the
Roy
Sixers?
Rogers. The day after that,
Rockets?
out went Longley. So in a matter of days after MJ retired, the Bulls lost another 4 key members of a champion squad.
Damn.
They were mostly older dudes on expiring contracts, yes, but it's not like they were totally valueless.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen was
stayed
still a
productive for
killer.
a few more years, Kerr helped the Spurs win a title, and Longley remained a starting caliber center. Now look at what the Bulls got back. Only one of these draft picks would amount to something for Chicago. Only one of these people would actually play games for the Bulls, and they weren't good ones. NBA teams played just 50 games in the post-lockout season, and thank God for that, because 82 games of this roster might have given Chicagoans some sort of radiation poisoning. The few incumbents on Floyd's Bulls all shifted up in the rotation. Role players like Kukoc and Harper became the stars. Bench guys like Dickie Simpkins and Randy Brown ended up starting a bunch of games. And the only new signing that gave them any real help was Brent Barry, who'd come over from the Miami Heat. Reached for comment about that transaction, Miami coach Pat Riley only had jokes. And the rest of the Bulls roster?
Yeah, garbage.
I've been a diehard NBA fan my whole life. Especially as a kid growing up in the 90s, I studied every team and wanted to know every single player, and I recognize like 3.
Yeah, I think that's what I was about to say.
So yeah,
I only recognize
Chicago
like
got
3.
smoked by the Jazz on opening night '99 and went on to lose 37 of their 50 games.
Damn.
In one of those losses, they scored just 49 points, the lowest game total for any team in the shot clock era. All that losing helped Chicago win the lottery, and Krause had himself a fantastic '99 draft. With the first pick, Duke star Elton Brand. With the mid-first rounder they'd acquired in return for Longley, a St. John's product by the name of Ron Artest, or at least by that name for the time being.
Oh, yes.
And over the next year, Krause would put the finishing touches on his dismantling of the '98 champions. In September '99, the Bulls released Harper, who immediately became
Went to
the
the
starter
Lakers, yep.
for Phil Jackson and Tex Winter's next triangle project in Los Angeles.
Oh,
During the
man.
season,
Look at
Chicago
that.
traded-
Rick Fox. Who is that? Let me go back. I seen Derek Fisher, Rick Fox. Look at that. Shaq. Oh, dang. Right down to the Cavaliers coach. Well, ex-Cavalier coach. Ty Lue. You got Ty Lue. You got Rick Fox, Kobe. You got, who is this? Is that, oh, I thought that was Westland right there. Yes, bro. You got a freaking squad. Jesus Christ. Ain't Robert Krause right there looking like a dang fool. God dang. And I'm really only just looking at the low no-name players. Like Fisher, decent player, but not great. You got Fox, decent player, but not great. Like I don't even think, is Fox in is he in the Hall of Fame? I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame. Who else? Ty Lue is. I think Ty Lue is in there. And then, like, I can't even think of these two guys' name right here. Nor can I think of this guy's name. It's right there on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it right now. But this is crazy to think that this guy right here ended up on. So he has, how many does he have? I wonder if he has 7 or 8. Does he have 9? Because they had a 3-peat or a 2-peat. No, they had a 3-peat. The Lakers did have a 3-peat, right? I think that he might have got 2.
Los Angeles.
So that's,
During
damn,
the season,
he got
Chicago
8
traded away Kukoc.
to the
So
Sixers.
just a year and a half removed from this, Jerry Krause had purged every single core member of the Bulls' 3-peat roster. All of them but Jordan were people Krause put there himself, yet a remarkable number of them left him on bad terms.
Yep.
But now Krause could start from scratch, doing what he cherished most, the skill that had fleshed out the teams around Jordan. Scouting, rebuilding the Bulls with young and undiscovered talent. That wasn't necessarily the plan to begin with.
Tracy
The
McGrady.
Bulls coveted Tracy McGrady and Eddie Jones in 2000
Eddie Jones,
free agency.
yes.
T-Mac came to visit Chicago that summer and was greeted at the airport by the Bulls mascot and cheerleaders. but both he and Jones gravitated toward teams in their home state of Florida, so Chicago came up more or less empty. Thus, the Bulls were left to continue building with their selections in the famously terrible 2000 NBA draft. Krause was busy that night. He picked Floyd's former Iowa State recruit, Marcus Fizer, even though Fizer played the same position as Elton Brand. Then, Krause moved the pick he'd acquired for Kukoc to grab Michigan's Jamal Crawford. Crawford would go on to have a long, entertaining career, mostly not for the Bulls. Fizer, not so much. He played a few okay-ish seasons, then tore his ACL, then faded out of the league and spent most of his career overseas. Anyway, the young and regenerating Bulls continued to suck. They won 17 games in Brand's first year and just 15 the season
This is
following.
just horrible marketing
That
by
gave
the
Chicago
Bulls,
the best
man.
lottery odds in 2001, but they fell to the 4th pick. The Wizards, now run by none other than Michael Jordan, held the top spot, which, yeah. Krause went ahead and overrode his bad luck, boldly trading his rising star, Brand, to the Clippers for the 2nd draft pick, Tyson Chandler. And at 4,
Chandler was
Chicago
decent.
snagged local prospect Eddie Curry. Both big men, both straight out of high school. A new, super young front court of the future assembled in one night. Chandler and Curry were picked on either side of 2002 Rookie of the Year Pau Gasol, but still, the new baby Bulls looked promising. And this truly was a baby team. Even Krause's free agent signings around this time tended to be youngsters, guys like Brad Miller, Ron Mercer, and Eddie Robinson. The Bulls stayed terrible, and their youthful makeup got kind of muddled. The rookies didn't really play enough, and in February of 2002, Krause sent Artest, Miller, and Mercer to the Pacers for a package headlined by the older Jalen Rose. Rose became the uninspiring go-to player for a team that finished with just 21 wins.
Bro, that's a horrible
Krause was getting
trade.
criticized by this point
Jesus Christ.
for detonating the post-Jordan Bulls and for failing to make progress since. He tuned it all out, since the Bulls had critics even when they were winning championships. Anyway, Chicago went back to the lottery, where they were dealt the 2nd pick in the 2002 draft, just missing out on Yao Ming.
Damn.
They still got Duke point guard Jay Williams, who had a solid rookie year and helped the Bulls inch
Jay
forward to
Williams
30
was
wins.
raw.
The other youngsters also started to ramp up a bit under their new coach, who was a former Bull. Not that former Bull. Jordan's 2nd retirement wasn't his last one, it turned out, and he'd moved from managing the Wizards to playing for them. No, the Bulls replaced Floyd with Bill Cartwright, the same person who Krause had once acquired as a player in exchange for Charles Oakley. That was back in 1988, one of Jordan's earliest points of irritation with his GM. And then Cartwright and MJ won 3 titles together. Oh, and a much older Oakley was back on the team when Cartwright took over as coach in the middle of the 2002 season. The Bulls are so weird. Anyway, the slight upward trend coming out of the 2003 season ran into sudden tragedy. Injuries sustained in a motorcycle crash ended Jay Williams' career after just 1 season. And by the time of Williams' accident, Krause was gone. He resigned in April of 2003 to tend to his health, ceding management duties to another former Bull, John Paxson. The team that Krause left behind was just starting to come together. But the core that eventually led Chicago back into playoff contention.
Bro, when this came, I remember when Luol Deng got onto the Bulls, I thought this was the turnaround for the Bulls. And then I want to say, like, what was it, like 4 years after that, they got Derrick Rose? And I was just like amazed. I was like, yo, the Bulls are finally back. And it just didn't amount. Derrick Rose got hurt too much. Dang got traded away. Jim Noah couldn't freaking make a free throw to save his life, bro. It was just horrible.
In the ensuing years was built entirely by Paxson. He swapped out Krause's guys, made some strong picks of his own, swung one horrible draft day trade in 2006, then hit the lottery jackpot in 2008 and zoomed upward from there.
Yes, bro. This was a great draft.
Looking back at the intervening period, some of the young talent Krause collected for the Chicago rebuild never got a chance to pan out. Fizer and Williams were both deeply unfortunate. But Krause's scouting eye did prove sharp. Artest would become a Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star, and champion on other teams. Elton Brand was a regular All-Star on another team. The guy he got traded for would also become a champion, All-Star, and a Defensive Player of the Year on other teams. Even Brad Miller went on to become an All-Star, you guessed it, on other teams. Listen, rebuilding a champion is tough, especially when you've just lost the game's best player and best coach.
Yep.
Chicago probably could have benefited more from their destruction if they were patient, or if they hadn't alienated so many people in the first place. Instead, the Bulls dissolved their aging and disgruntled championship team with haste, shipped out future stars well before they peaked, and slogged through deep doldrums before new management built their next contending team. Michael Jordan's final shot closed the curtains on one of pro sports' most impressive dynasties. The valley following that peak was nearly as impressive. The Bulls sunk as deep and as fast as any champion ever has. Theirs was a truly monumental collapse.
Dang. All right, man, that is the end of this video. I mean, looking at this, bro, that's crazy to lose that many people, bro. That many picks, that many players. It's wild, bro. And then, I mean, I feel like Krause, I feel like he never wanted to admit that he made a mistake, man. Like, if he would have got Phil Jackson back, let's say midway through this, he goes and gets Phil Jackson back. Let's say right off in there with Tracy McGrady. He gets that. Tracy McGrady probably takes that chance with the Bulls because Phil Jackson already got, you get what I'm saying? He's already got 4. I mean, he's already got 6 with the Bulls. He's like, Tracy McGrady would have had a ring, which means now you have your Jordan. This is your Jordan. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's as good as Jordan. I'm simply saying he's your Jordan. He's your star player. Then you add Ryan Artest. You add Ryan Artest to Tracy McGrady. There's just Scottie Pippen, bro. Like this is really the heart right here is so much about, like, I really want to say this could have been the up climb with the right coach. You get what I'm saying? If you get Tracy McGrady, you already have a Scottie Pippen and Ryan Artest. You already have a shooter in what's the kid's name? Ray Williams. I mean, yeah, Jay Williams. I can't think of his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. You got a shooter in him. You got a point guard. You've got everything you need to build. This team would have went freaking crazy if they just had this Tracy McGrady right here. This trade right here was what really made the difference of the Bulls falling this far down. Because if you lose, yeah, Jay Williams, my fault. It's right here. I see it now. But you get what I'm saying? You get Tracy, it's a whole different story, man. A whole different story. But, man, if y'all guys did enjoy this video, man, and y'all did like this, man, make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, man. I will see y'all in the next video, man. If y'all do enjoy this content, I actually got some more content up there for you guys if y'all wanted to check that out. And make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. I'll see y'all in the next one. Solid is out. Peace.